right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this great episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, the drama in Nigeria continues amidst widespread poverty and hopelessness. Some Nigerians who, for some weird reasons, still have faith in TINUBU had been talking about a cabinet reshufflement. They blamed the failure of the TINUBU administration on members of his cabinet. But we told them, we said cabinet reshufflement will not solve any of these problems because TINUBU's appointments have always been based on propaganda and, corrupt political connections, not competence. But they doubted us. Now, TINUBU has sacked some ministers, 5 ministers to be precise, and 2 things are involved that clearly show that his cabinet reshufflement is just a big joke. Number 1, his worst ministers were not sacked. For example, the Minister of Defense, Matawale, whose state governor has exposed as a huge sponsor of terrorism in the state and in the Northwest in general, was not sacked. And we all know that insecurity is one of the biggest problems in this country right now. And secondly, he nominated Bianca Ojukwu as a Minister of State, a move that every Nigerian knows is based on propaganda, just trying to score a cheap political point. And the other 6 nominees for replacement of those sacked have been scrutinized, and not a single one of them was appointed based on pure merit. So it is just for the papers. Nothing will change. The Minister of Finance, who is the coordinating Minister of the Economy, remains in office, so the economic problems will continue. The incompetent Minister of Power remains. The CBN Governor remains, so the poverty continues for Nigerians. And hours ago, the World Bank affirmed that TINUBU's Naira policy is the reason there is food insecurity in Nigeria. In other words, as far as the Naira policy continues, this is just the beginning of hunger in the country. And media chaos followed that revelation by the World Bank. And Southwest opposition governors have responded by saying enough is enough. They have vowed to shame TINUBU and APC chairman GANDUJE by kicking them out of the region. Before I show you details of that declaration by the World Bank and details of the updates by the opposition governors in Southwest, let me quickly show you this video that further confirms the emptiness of those in charge of Aso Rock. These guys are so empty with nothing to offer. Look at how Bayo Onanuga was brutally exposed in this boring interview. See the video.
My own assessment is this. I think our people have generally been very impatient to see through the reforms that government is trying to do. In recent time, I've been reading several reports done earlier. Vision 2010, Vision 2020. And if you go through all those, you will find that all those reports showed that our economy has been very deficient, very, very weak. And that if we don't do what we are doing today, one day we wake up, maybe we end up like which country now that it's Somalia or somewhere that where the economy totally goes bonker. Our economy is very, very weak. And what government is doing today by doing those reforms, government is trying to create opportunities for us to really be a productive economy. Nigeria has been consuming, and the government in the past has been subsidizing this consumption for long. We send our children abroad to school, government subsidizes. You go to any supermarket, people are buying foreign products that we can manufacture in our country. And we are using subsidized dollar to buy all those things. I go and say, no, let this thing be driven by the market so that people can begin to think that, instead of, look, okay, let me give you an example. Maize, which they used to do some beverage or something, in our local way, we produce pap from the same maize. But somebody will go and do cornflakes or something, the same maize that they used to do it. But this thing can be done in Nigeria. You can produce it locally. You don't need to import it. So what government is trying to do is, look, fellow Nigerians, think. Let's sit down and really make this economy a producer economy. Let's things that we can eat. Let's produce it locally, and let's even add value. And some businessmen, they are beginning entrepreneurs. They're already taking advantage of the reforms that if our naira is as it is now, people, even the World Bank said it, that if you have a weak naira, it's an opportunity for us to grow our export. For people who really want to do business, to sit down to say, instead of importing shoes, why can't we produce shoes here? Cheaper shoes that we can export abroad. A lot of things can be done locally. And that's
would you be prepared to wear those shoes? Would the president wear those shoes?
Even as we are talking today, there are many Nigerian entrepreneurs who are already doing that, who are producing locally. I bought some couple of shoes made in Nigeria, and they are good.
Well, I wonder why all of you aren't driving made in Nigeria cars.
Well, I think gradually, you know, when you say made in Nigerian cars, or even any car you bring from abroad, they are assembled there. We have cars being assembled in Nigeria now, including even electric vehicle cars being assembled in Nigeria. So, and some Nigerians are buying them anyway.
Yeah, but a brand that is associated with Nigeria is Innocent, for example. Why aren't all of you? I mean, I wonder why you're not going. I mean, because you say that you want Nigerians to buy Nigerian, you want to promote that. But I mean, you're not going to see the German chancellor driving anything but a German car. You're not going to see the American president driving anything but an American car.
No, I think what I want to say about that is that this is still work in progress. I think with the philosophy of government, with the vision of the president, we will soon be embracing all these made in Nigerian products. The president has been saying it.
Well, I mean, it's Nigeria. A way of demonstrably showing.
Putting
your practice where your mouth is.
We are going to get there.
Wow, there is so much shamelessness in this game of politics. Bayo Ononuga, a 70-year-old man, lying effortlessly on TV. He avoids made in Nigerian goods like a plague, but he's seated there trying to talk as if he is in support of production in Nigeria. He said the government is trying to get Nigerians to be producers. Ononuga is now talking about production. When we all know TINUBU has no single interest in production. There was only one person talking about production, and that was Peter Obi. This is a government whose policies have led to the collapse of the few production firms we have in Nigeria. Even primary production, which is farming, is under serious attack in this administration. And Ononuga had the effrontery to be talking about production there. Then he went ahead to say a weak naira encourages us to begin producing and exporting. What an empty submission from an empty man. If a weak currency encourages production and exportation, why is every nation on earth fighting to make their currency strong? And when you look at this kind of man sitting there as one of the decision makers for Nigeria, you can simply conclude that this country is in serious trouble. And of course, he said Nigerians are impatient with TINUBU after 18 months of torture. Ononuga is saying the people have not suffered enough, even when there is no single sign of light at the end of the tunnel. TINUBU's aides are still talking about patience. The same TINUBU who immediately sponsored heavy protest against Jonathan when fuel was moved from 97 naira to 140 naira per litre. What kind of shamelessness and emptiness is this? And Ben Samuel here says the party that occupied Nigeria in 2012 with no real understanding of leadership focused more on borrowing money and squandering it on a lavish lifestyle for their families. That is it. Just borrowing money and squandering money, asking people to be patient when you protested against the same subsidy removal in 2012. And Abolaji here says, too quick to throw Nigerians under the bus for demanding good governance. That is it. Every one of them comes up and they insult the people. And Mirong here says, the same Mubo Jumbo, these guys are not ready to develop this country. America imports more than any country in the world, and yet they still have a good economy. How many Nigerians are consuming or have the finances to buy like these guys are saying? That is it. And Joe says, you don't patronize made in Nigerian products. You are saying we are going to get there. This old fool still thinks that we are in analog era. When Peugeot was assembled in Nigeria then, almost all government vehicles were Peugeot. Now, your president used almost $1 billion for Escalade. It's as simple as that. They are not ready to develop. Imagine if TINUBU was driving an innocent car. There is no better way to talk about supporting local industries than that. But you are driving an Escalade that is almost worth $1 billion. What a shame. Now, let's take those updates that have become major talking points in Nigeria political media space right now. First of all, World Bank sends fear into Nigerians by submitting that the Naira policies which Tinubu has vowed to continue with is the cause of hunger in Nigeria. And that means that this is just the beginning. It means it's going to get worse. And in the next update, S.WEST PDP governors vow to shame TINUBU and GANDUJE in the Southwest region. They said they've had enough with the poverty that they have brought, and they are now ready to get them out of the region. Let's begin with the updates from the World Bank. Look at how the papers reported it. World Bank attributes Nigeria's food production decline to TINUBU's Naira policy insecurity. Reporters. The World Bank has blamed the dip in Nigeria's agricultural sector on the devaluation of the Naira by Bola Tinubu's administration. This was stated in a recently released development update report on Nigeria. According to the Global Apex Bank, the fall in the Nigeria's agricultural output to 0.8% is because of Naira depreciation. Agricultural output growth fell to 0.8% year-on-year in the first half of 2024, the report stated. The sluggish growth largely resulted from contractions in livestock production and a slowdown in crop production. The Nigerian Naira continues to weaken, trading at over 1,650 Naira per dollar amidst worsening inflationary pressures. Food inflation in particular has seen substantial growth, exacerbating economic concerns. As of September 2024, the country's food inflation stood at 37.7%, representing an increase from the 32.15% recorded in August 2024. 26.5 million Nigerians are also projected to be food insecure in 2024, according to the United Nations. Recently, the World Bank noted that 129 million Nigerians are now living in poverty. The Nigerian government has repeatedly promised to boost the agricultural sector, but despite these assurances, food prices continue to skyrocket. You heard that. That was the World Bank telling Nigerians that our rate of inflation, which was 32% in August 2024, became 37% in September 2024. And that is as a result of Tinubu's devaluation of the Naira, a policy that Tinubu, Wale Edun, and Cardoso have vowed to continue to uphold. And the implication of what the World Bank has pointed out here is that soon we will have a Nigeria where 1 meal in 2 days will be a luxury that only a few can afford. And next up, PDP governors in Southwest, led by the governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, talking tough on Tinubu and GANDUJE. Look at how the papers reported it. APC, GANDUJE will be shocked by Ondo election. Makinde. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has stated that the All Progressive Congress, APC, and its national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, will be shocked by the outcome of the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State. Makinde also said the ruling party will experience defeats in subsequent elections in the Southwest geopolitical zone. While stressing that the People Democratic Party, PDP, would defeat the ruling party, Makinde, who is the leader of the PDP in the Southwest, emphasized that APC had become nemesis of Nigerians. The national chairman of APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, stated a few days ago in Akure, the Ondo State capital, that the Southwest states will soon be captured by APC after winning the Ondo elections. Similarly, Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa claimed on Wednesday that PDP was dead in the state, leading the campaign train of PDP to the Akoko axis of Ondo State, the Oyo governor boasted that PDP is still vibrant in Ondo State. According to him, PDP is determined to be victorious in the governorship election. He stressed that both Ganduje and Ayedatiwa would be shocked by the outcome of the forthcoming governorship polls. If wishes were horses, everybody would be riding them. I can tell you that the people of southwest of Nigeria are wiser, especially in Ondo State, where we are here, Akoko area. You can see the crowd. Look at the enthusiasm. On November 16th, we will tell him, Ganduje, that Ondo State and indeed Southwest are for the PDP. Well, talk they say is cheap. You can say whatever you like with your mouth. The people of Ondo State will speak loud and clear on the 16th of November 2024. And then all of us in this country will hear it loud and clear. You heard that. Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State there, boasting that the PDP would shame APC and Ganduje in Ondo State come November 16th and in subsequent elections. Now, it all comes down to how much the people want it. All my friends and associates in the Southwest are telling me this same thing, that the APC cannot win any election in the Southwest as it stands. But here is what I always tell them. I always ask them this question. I said, are you people ready to brutally punish those amongst you who the APC will pay to rig elections for them? Because from the very day TINUBU stepped into office, the concept of fairness, which was on life support in Nigeria, was confirmed dead. So fairness is completely out of the window. They are not looking at fair play. In other words, they don't need the people's votes. They believe in bribing INEC officials and ad hoc staff to change election results for them. So when they are saying they want to grab, they want to take over, they want to snatch, that is what they mean. And if the people are not ready to be brutal on these guys, on the INEC staff, on everybody, if your eyes are not on ground, you are on ground, you put your foot down and you are ready to go head on, match them violence for violence, I am telling you, what happened in Edo State is what we are going to see again in Ondo State and in the rest of the Southwest. And you already know the repercussion of that. If petrol is selling at 1,200 naira to 1,400 naira per liter and APC still gets up to 10,000 votes in any state, because they will need some votes to be able to manipulate. So if they have up to 10,000 to 15,000 votes in a state, they will be able to do their manipulation. And the fact that they got the 10K to 15K votes means that they have every right to increase petrol price to 2,000 naira per liter. And I trust them. They will do it. They will not say that since these people went ahead to trust the process, to believe in us and still gave us 15K votes before we manipulated to 200 and something thousand. Let us even prove our doubters wrong. They will never do that. They will make sure that they increase the price of petrol to 2,000 and even above, because this is what they have come to do, to kill, to steal, and to destroy. There is nothing you can do to change their minds. And I'm saying this particularly because I know there are many people from the Southwest on this channel who watch these videos. This is the time for you to take your region back. Southwest elder statesman Afe Babalola was speaking, some weeks ago. He said this is the worst state that the Southwest has ever been since he was born. This man is over 90 years old. And that was what he was saying. He said the Yorubas have been reduced to their worst state under TINUBU. Beggars. I was sharing a video with you the other day where a crowd of people, close to 1,000 or more people, they gathered, and what were they giving each person? A loaf of bread. One loaf of bread. Elderly people, family, parents. That is what the Southwest has been reduced to. This is a region before where person go fit stand, buy something, still buy for other people where they around them. This used to be a region where wajeun was a normal slang. Come and eat. Somebody is eating, he wants you to eat with him. But nowadays, people are hiding food in the Southwest. That is for people that even have the food. So how can they be having an election around this kind of time and somebody will come and say he wants to rig for the APC? I was disappointed in Edo State why some people, allowed themselves to be used by the APC to the point that the Oba of Benin was even supporting the APC candidate. But the Oba is even a multi-millionaire. He can collect bribe. They pay him heavily. He's not feeling it. But how about you just collecting 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira at the polling unit level? Returning officer, you collect 250k, 500k to change results. And if these guys want to go ahead to collect all those monies to change results, then the people themselves, this is what I'm saying, the people should be able to stand and say, Oga, this will not happen. This was not what we voted. You cannot change this result. Just like the people of Abia State did. That is the approach that the people of Southwest will have to use to take their region back from the APC. And that is in fact, indeed, the approach that the entire Nigeria will have to apply to take their country back. Because under the APC, like I keep saying, nothing good will ever happen to this country, because they have come to kill, to steal, and to destroy. And Nigerians must cast aside their sentiments, put their foot down, unite to take their country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go.